It is, and I think that that's exactly the case that people feel, I think sometimes, that if I get to know myself or if I have to spend alone time with myself, then what if I don't like what I find? And you just said the complete opposite. What if I end up realizing that I really like me? What if there's these really great things about me? And I think people are starting to discover that and recognizing that, you know what, I'm a pretty okay person and I'm pretty funny and I'm fun to be around, and maybe I'm more positive than I ever thought, and I'm maybe more solution oriented than problem oriented. I think people are discovering that about themselves during this time.
I think the introspect has been a great blessing. I really do.
Absolutely. Yes. So now for your work, because I know that you've not been able to work during this time, have you and I don't even know if people are contacting you yet because work wasn't happening. I think you're free to go back to work anytime now, if I'm not mistaken. But are you having an influx in people that maybe haven't come to that conclusion about themselves? That it's like, oh, big awakening to myself. I have a lot of stuff to work on and I need somebody to help me work on this. And I've heard about CoRae Lierman, who's in Beamer, and I'm going to contact her. Do you think there's going to be an influx like that?
I'm thinking it's true. I started working today. I saw one of my longtime clients,
Awesome.
and yeah, we had a wonderful session because she had begun to believe something that wasn't true.
Mm,
It's people need that support, and that's a big part that I play. So my regular clients who come back, maybe every 2 weeks or every week or once a month or whatever it is, they need that support because they perhaps aren't getting it at home because not everyone in their home is as evolved. And it's neither here nor there. It doesn't make it bad. It's just that they need that support. It's kind of like, you talk about that beer. At the end of a hot day, you wish you had a beer,
yeah.
and you can get one. But I started today, and yes, I think we were notified on Monday by the local health center that we could go back to work, and my phone was ringing off the hook. So yes, it will be for a lot of reasons, but I think one of the big reasons is they're still in pain. They still haven't moved through all of the emotional, mental ideology around their physical condition, and most of it was because they work every day. Repetitive injuries
Mm,
are ongoing because those people have the same jobs.
right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah, and it'll be busy, yeah, because of the fear that has been involved, and then the anger. What I'm seeing out here in rural America, and this is where the rubber meets the road. They're tired of this. They think it's all horsepucky
Yeah.
uh, of everything that we've been told, and they're really, really tired of it.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow is right.
Yeah. So we might have to dive into that a little bit more. Yeah, because you're in a big community of a lot of farming, a lot of ranching, and yeah, we can't.
Hunters.
Oh, yeah, yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and of course, because in the and I don't really watch the news very often, but when I do watch the local news, it's the local, so we don't get to hear all of the stuff that's going on in different states that are neighboring states. And it would be nice to know a little bit more on what other people are thinking and feeling. How are they handling it? The people that are so angry, and at least the ones that you know and in your area, how do you think they're handling it? I mean, as far as what's their outlet?
Social media probably is the biggest thing
Mm,
um, that I see, which is, you know, we still have this division that's going on. The polarity in our country has been one of the biggest obstacles we're going to have to get past, and we must get past it. Yeah, this is not, it's not the American way. We have to stand united.
right.
And so I keep trying to point out the facts that we are more alike than we are unalike. And yeah, not watching news is a good idea. But, you know, on the other hand, you can't have your head in the sand. You have to know what's going on.
Absolutely. You absolutely have to know what's going on. There's no question about that. And you cannot go with your head in the sand. So yeah, I take it in small doses. And, you know, when I know what I need to know, then I'm ready to turn it off and to move on to something else. So yeah, but you've not, you haven't had any clients. Yeah, I guess you just went back today. So you've not had any of those angry clients where you're having to work through and settle that nervous system back down. You know, and it is so true, this whole thing with polarity. And I'm hoping, and at least that is my intention, that one of the biggest blessings with this whole shutdown that happened is that we can get out of this polarity. We can have our own opinions. We can believe the things that we believe, but it doesn't have to be this huge division. And right, because it's not. That is not what this country was built on or based on. And I'm hoping that that is one of the blessings that comes out of this.
I hope so. You know, here in Beamer, Nebraska, and you've been here, Nada, so you know it's a town of 600 people. The main street is 1 block long. The American Legion Freedom Riders, they motorcycle, they escort fallen veterans to their final resting place. They put up a 70-foot, now Main Street is 1 block, and this is a small block, a village block, not a city block. They put up a 70-foot flagpole with the biggest American flag on it you've ever seen, like a big car dealership flag. And
Wow.
There's nothing else on Main Street, my office and the bank and a hardware store. But it really says a lot to me. I go in there and I'm saying, we are the united. I'm going to amplify United States of America, and we're all wonderful human beings in our own right. I think one of the big things that I'm going to be working on with my clients is to realize, and I said it to my client today, your soul, she is holy, was a woman, is holy. You don't have to apologize for your soul.
Right.
But you do have to take your soul's ideology and look at the ego. Which things can you soften? What things are true for your soul?
Yeah.
You know, that ego is the problem here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. And the thing is, I'm right and you're wrong. And I can only be right if you're wrong. And that's so ego driven. Yes. Yeah. And I love how you said that. What can I soften? What can I soften about this ego? And the soul is holy, and it doesn't have to apologize for anything ever. Absolutely. Oh, you know that I love you, and you know that you and I can sit and talk for many, many hours, but this portion has run out of time. So we're going to wind this down. And of course, because I want to continue this conversation, I have some more questions I want to ask you. So I'm going to ask you now if you would be willing to come back and join me again so we can have a part 2 of this conversation. Would you be willing?
It would be my pleasure, Nada.
I love it. Thank you so much. So if people are traveling or you happen to live in the Beamer, Nebraska area, CoRae's information will be on the show notes if she's taking any new clients, because I have a feeling you're going to be a little bit overwhelmed with everything. But the best way to get in touch with you, CoRae, is it through your phone number, or do you have a website? And I can just put it on the show notes.
Texting or email. I think my email is also available on my information.
Okay, so all of CoRae's information then will be there. And I can attest, because I've had work done with CoRae, and it is phenomenal. And the light body work, yes, I want to talk a little bit more about that when we come back. So thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for the beautiful work that you do. Thank you for your time and your wisdom and sharing your gifts with me and the listeners. I am very grateful, and we will be back next week to pick up where we left off.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show, and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.